Although they have been deregistered, they continue to register their grievances. The 74 political parties screened out by INEC kick. Any room for re-registration or recalibration to meet the benchmarks? We'll find out. Now, timetable for the Ondo and Edo gubernatorial elections opens new political seasons in those states. The chessboards have been laid out for the masters of the game. Also today, we will stay with the Edo APC conundrum from last week and speak with a pastor politician who says he's in for the long run. Plus, the Nigerian legislature as a catalyst for development. These are our guiding thoughts on today's episode of Political Update. I'm Fisayo Ogunfuyi. Welcome. Now, it's no longer news that last week the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, deregistered 74 out of 92 political parties. As the explanations and complaints rumble on, Timothy Yusuf sought the perspectives from some political parties in Abuja.
The Action Democratic Party is one of the 18 political parties still standing following the recent deregistration of 74 political parties by the Independent National Electoral Commission. The party's national leadership at a media briefing in Abuja promised to continue to support every genuine effort towards deepening democratic tenets in Nigeria.
The Action Democratic Party stands by INEC's decision in commending us for complying with the provisions of the law.
The new progressive movement is, however, not as lucky as the Action Democratic Party, as its performance fell below expected standard to remain a political party.
One thing that we have not fulfilled is for us to have at least one elective position as a political party.
Although with mixed feelings, a cross-section of political players believe that INEC acted in line with the position of the law.
That is a plus for INEC. It will also reduce the amount of money that is spent in running election.
If the political space is not opened up, why, on what platform will some smaller groups be able to, express themselves?
INEC is right in the timing and the action.
I want to commend INEC for doing this. It's been long overdue.
The political parties congratulated the 74 deregistered political parties for exhibiting what they described as uncommon courage towards deepening democracy in Nigeria, especially when the nation is in dire need of political sanity. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Now, last week's announcement on the deregistration of some of political parties has had an instant effect on the Inter-Party Advisory Council. Let's hear again from Timothy.
This action of INEC flows from the provisions of Section 225, subsection A of the 4th alteration, number 9 of the 1992 Constitution, as amended. It is therefore based on the lawfulness of the action of the Commission, the desirability of the need to sanitize the electoral space, that we, the 18 political parties in Nigeria, hereby endorse this bold step by INEC and commend it for this worthy cause. It is this will to implement the law, despite whose us is God, that we require for our nation building. The Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC, being the vehicle through which the political parties collectively engage with INEC and other stakeholders in the electoral system, recognizes that this sanitation also created a vacuum in the leadership of the council. And in order to ensure the seamless contribution of the political parties to our electoral development, the parties resolved to set up an interim management committee to run the affairs of the council. The membership of this committee is drawn from only the existing and registered political parties and shall serve for a minimum of 1 month and a maximum of 3 months, within which time a proper election will be conducted.
Let's move to Edo State now. Remember last week we brought you a report on some positions given by the Deputy Governor there, Philip Shaibu, on differences in political standpoints within the party in the state. Today we will bring you an interview with a politician who seems not too far from the epicenter. A pastor and a politician, Osage Izeyamo, last year rejoined the APC from the PDP. Our reporter Agatha Egwari Ojo started by asking him if the musical chairs may affect perception amongst his followers.
Quite honestly, the politics of Nigeria is still evolving. I'm looking forward to the day when we'll have parties that are truly built on ideological lines. For me, all I want to do is to be able to give service to my state. And if I find out that the party I belong to, they are not interested, for them maybe politicking is just about criticizing. Criticizing cannot bring amenities to my place. I deliberately left Benin, where I was born, to go to the village of my forefathers in Orion. And what I told them there was that I want to be an agent of change. I want to be able to bring development to Orion, bring light, bring water. So if I'm in a party that cannot access government, it means that there's no way I can achieve all these things.
So are we going to see you later on in the year? Well, not so later on anyway, in a few weeks from now, vying for the position of the state healthman?
Yes, most likely. To be honest, when I was coming back to the APC, I came with an open mind for two reasons. One, realizing that there's already an incumbent governor in the same party. I realized that whom I want to do a second term. And number two, also realizing that I've been away for a while and coming back, people might not readily buy into my wanting to serve the state. But for somebody like me, it doesn't take me years to come to a decision. And when I came in, the first thing that I'm sure has become public knowledge is the hostility that the governor showed to my coming. I was shocked. This is somebody I related well with, even though the circumstances in which he even defeated me was controversial. But I had given his office and his person so much respect. Politics is a mission field. Why is it a mission field? It's a place that has been made dirty. It's a place that is in darkness. Let us go there and put light. Let us go there and clean the place up. Because when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. When they are in authority. Proverbs 29 verse 2. So for me, I'm doing the work of God. Nobody can deter me. They call all kinds of names. They black. Maybe some say, fake pastor. I pray one day you come to church and listen to my administration. God will arrest you. You know I'm not a fake pastor. I know I got my conviction. Put Edo people first in everything that we do. We are determined to add value to the APC. Our options are wide open. We respect the party leadership. We are not desperate for any position. And if the party in its wisdom decides tomorrow this is how to go, we will abide by it, because we have come to this party to give it full support. So I want to encourage all those who also believe in me to have this mind. Nobody is our enemy. The governor remains our governor. In spite of everything, he's our brother, we love him. But we want to appeal to those who believe they must crush everyone in order to rule. That they must aspire to rule over the living and not the dead. Edo State desires peace.
All right, the People's Democratic Party continued its protest today with a walk to the European Union and French embassies. Let's hear from our ubiquitous correspondent, Timothy Yusuf.
The People's Democratic Party decided to reach out
to international community to lay complaints with respect to Electoral Act that has not been assented to up till now. This is 5 years.
International community, anywhere there is going to be election, they send in monitors. They go and monitor. They bring in their reports.
All right. Earlier we, spoke about the conundrum in the APC in Edo State. Let's revisit an interview we have. But before then, of course, we'll give you a more elaborate interview with Pastor Sagezeyam and other contestants as we move slowly towards the elections in Edo and, of course, the ones in Ondo, as INEC has already, of course, given the dates for the elections. Let's also remember that INEC has also advised the participants and political gladiators there to try to toe the path of peace, as well as also ensure that they do not stoke up the fires in the polity. INEC also says that they will be watching to see that fans are not riled, and we will continue to give you updates on that. While we wait on that, we may revisit the earlier story on the registration of political parties, as well as last week's meeting by the Independent Inter-Party Advisory Council. We are waiting for our main guest, but before then, let's revisit Mia Ogidi's report on the deregistration exercise by INEC to put it into perspective.
Invitation for the press briefing was sudden, and there was no written agenda. So, the guessing game about the content of the meeting preoccupied the lips of journalists. Few minutes later, it became a public knowledge.
74 political parties are hereby deregistered.
Out of the 92 political parties, 74 could not escape the sledgehammer of Section 225A of the 1999 Constitution, which empowers INEC to deregister non-performing political parties. And these are the justifications.
In 2018, the Constitution was amended. In addition to extant provisions for the registration of political parties, the fourth alteration to the Constitution, Section 225A, empowers the Commission to deregister political parties. Prior to the fourth alteration, the Electoral Act 2010 as amended had provided for the deregistration of political parties. Based on this provision, the Commission between 2011 and 2013 deregistered 39 political parties. However, several of the parties challenged the power of INEC to deregister them, particularly on the ground that the Electoral Act is inferior to the Constitution and that deregistration infringed on their fundamental rights under the same Constitution. Subsequently, the courts ordered the Commission to reinstate the parties. It was for this reason that the National Assembly amended the Constitution to empower the Commission to deregister political parties on the following grounds. 1. Breach of any of the requirements for registration as a political party. 2. Failure to win at least 25% of the votes cast in one state of the Federation in a presidential election, or 25% of the votes cast in one local government area of a state in a governorship election. And 3. Failure to win at least one ward in a chairmanship election, one seat in the national or state assembly election, or one seat in a councillorship election.
With this nullification, the list of successful political parties were announced. APC, PDP, SDP, ABGA, and YPP are among the 18 successful ones. However, Boot Party made the list because court ordered its registration after the general elections in 2019. while Action People's Party is enjoying the protection of the law court. Meanwhile, the political cloud of Edo and Ondo states are now open. Governorship contest, though limited to only the 18 political parties, will take place on the 19th of September 2020 in Edo State, while Ondo State will have its own day of decision on the 10th of October 2020.
I wish to remind all parties and candidates that violence during party primaries and electioneering campaigns, the snatching of election materials, or the deployment of thugs against INEC officials, observers, the media, and unarmed security personnel at polling units are acts punishable under our electoral laws. Already, the political atmosphere in a particular state is charged. No one should regard the release of the timetable for the elections as a signal to further escalate tension or a call to commence the recruitment of goons and arming of thugs and hoodlums. On this note, I want to thank you all and God bless you for coming.
Best of luck as the countdown begins. Mayor Ogidi, NT News.
And talking about the countdown, the All Progressive Congress has constituted committees to see that any internal wranglings of faction or issues of misunderstanding is ironed out before they go again to the trenches for the polls. Perhaps one would look at what happened last year. As the chairman, Comrade Adams Oshiomhole, spoke about one that is very close to home and how those misunderstandings could be ironed out.
I value relationship. I value loyalty. Now, it is not lost. But for those who think it is between me and him, seeing us in photograph means issues are settled. But those in Edo knows that the issues are not between me and him. They are, go to Edo and find out. You have pockets of factions now within the same, people calling themselves various names, and holding meetings on the basis of those names. I belong to APC. I do not belong to any group. I believe that going forward, for us to retain the state as we are all committed to doing, we cannot run away from calling an all-inclusive meeting of all APC leaders, which is well captured in our APC constitution, what we call the caucus, plus any other leader of note who we know has voice and has electoral value. We sit down, close the door like any large family, have very frank conversation. When we finish, we bring in the media and tell you the conclusions. And I can tell you straight away what the conclusion can only be. Namely that because we are a free people, there is nothing unusual if we exchange hot words in a closed door. But having exchanged those hot words, we are settled. We have one governor. We will queue behind the governor. We support him to continue to work for the good and deliver the greatest good to the greatest number of Edo people so that Edo will continue to witness sustainable growth and development. You cannot decree peace. There is only one access to it, dialogue. And I'm happy that 4 governors offered to join us to hold that kind of meeting because they, being Raki governors, they know the danger of a faction. I cannot decree it. I can't command people, go this way, don't go this way. But once we have built peace and we restore unity and internal cohesion within the party, the governor will have no problem whatsoever. But to think that you just take photo opportunity, that amount to settlement, amount to self-deceit, I don't deceive myself. I think that we can talk through this issue. There is nothing fundamental, as you can see, about them. They are issues that can easily be resolved, and I'm still very, very confident that they will be resolved to the benefit of all, particularly the governor himself.
moving on from the All Progressive Party, our All Progressive Congress, talking about other parties now, there is a consensus on collaboration for what the present administration or current administration is doing in terms of tackling poverty and arresting some of the challenges we have in security and, of course, corruption. And political leaders have called for better collaboration in seeing that this drive, anti-corruption as well as security, is put in the front burner, especially in the political scene.
Let the voices that talk about the unity and togetherness of this country come up more, and let the government of the respective states take responsibility. On their own, their funds, they do not apply it to training the children, managing the security, creating employment, activating agriculture, activating arts, things that people could do to drive or take their hands off crime.
In the past, we always left it for security personnel to handle. But these days, the issue of security has become everybody's concern. So the issue of security has come to the fore, and we can no more run away from it. It's the most important thing now.
We have had some level of improvement ever since the administration came on board today in 2015. The bombings that we're experiencing in various parts of the country, we're going beyond the northeast, has really come down. But again, you can't say that is all that needs to be done. This urgency has to come to an end.
All we need is peace, and then we will have prosperity. So the effort to restore peace is one that everybody should be involved in. It's not only the president. All Nigerians have to work towards doing it.
We've done so much. The present administration has tried. The former administration tried, but we still have a long way to go. So I am of the opinion that security should be personalized. First of all, you have to be security conscious as an individual. Your community has to be security conscious as a community, and they should do everything to safeguard the lives of their people. Then the police will now come in, and I am of the opinion that the police force should be decentralized.
All right, that's political updates for today. We'll be back on Friday for a fresher package. Stay tuned, of course, on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority, where we give you the very best of news, reviews, previews, and interviews. And later tonight, on Tuesday Live, my colleague Omini Oden will be hosting the Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations, Amina Mohammed. Keep it a date with us, of course, because it will be fresh, it will be entertaining. Just stay tuned with your questions. Fisao Gunfu is the name. Thanking you for staying tuned. All the best. Enjoy the rest of your week.